greetings today from the perpetual, never-ending story that is my horrific nightmare of a life. Hostage Diaries. Take. I think this is like the 95th or 96th recording. So, I know, most unprofessional. That's the big joke for all the almighty gods of the world, sacred idols that I power and beauty shop. Yet, I gotta beg and beg and beg their pimp managers to even try to make enough money to escape my kidnapping. That is the historical joke. Many levels of history going on right now. Well, it all deals with this. It is the dawning age, as you would, of individualism and activity. But I was whacked and hacked and unable to ride that wave. I got attacked because they wanted to steal my wallet. They wanted to chop off the head and go after all the meat that is scattered. It's a lot easier if you kill the cop and go rob the town. And that's basically what they were doing to me. They were chopping off, they were going to kill the banker or hold me hostage so they could spread, it's like roofies, shucking those leg spreaders, and then lube it with some sacred plastics and the silicone. So, yeah, what else is in? Glycerin is another one, like the Bush song Glycerin, which has a lot. Well, it's also used as a sugar. It's used in pharmaceutical pills. It's a sugary something like placebo, but it's used as like a filler. That's what I guess. But it's also used in lubricant, which is a huge part of this ordeal that I happen to provide. Because, well, it goes back to, like I said, Almighty God, the tattoo, and the pyramid scam, or the V scam, the buried V scam, because I power both sides of the equation, and I get nothing in life, barely alive. I mean, literally, the biggest loser of all time, wasted life, and can't do anything about it. I can't even afford to go out and eat. I mean, it's that pathetic. I do not have a vehicle. I'm relegated. That's the Les Miles interpretation. Let's keep it kidnapped in a smaller circumference so the infection doesn't spread. In actuality, they're spread. That's where you get into the omega hack. They're actually spreading infection, and it's like the day I got whacked in Baton Rouge. I saw one of the zombie movies. It was the one, I think it was 2004, where they were in the mall. And, that was the day that it all began. So, that hack is perpetual. So the zombies are spreading and that sort of thing. And it's the I am legend sort of mentality where everybody runs from me. Unless it's dark out, then they try to kill me. If the light's on, they run and hide. If it's dark, they try to kill me. I gotta hide from them if it's dark. Because they're under that's kind of what they're trying, that's why they're building this dome right now to try to keep it perpetually dark so they can attack me at all times. And I'm relegated to this little bitty bubble. It's like keeping me in this bubble so they can use my vast estate. Well, it's the occupier. They took over my estate, which is one of the most fertile and richest estates in the world. And they love it. It's like, cocaine. They are addicted to the poppy seeds and all this sort of the cotton panty skirt Victoria's Secret's addictions and the it's really pathetic. But they don't pay a fucking cent. So then you've got all these loser fraud brothers and sisters who matter more than me. They've got to prove their validity through fighting. It's cockfighting. That's all it is. It's stupid fucking idiots. But the estate, the mob figured this out. The mob plays sides. Same thing with my family. My family will not even fucking listen to me. That's crazy. So, my friends also who don't really do anything, they don't have a perception. But the mob feels it out. They smell blood really good. They're really good instincts. And they smell blood with me all the way back when. Part of the reason they're having this anarchy out of revolution is the blood that I'm inviting. There's no resistance at all. It's just walk on in and take it. The house is wide open. Just walk in and make yourself at home. It's like pain and gain. Really is. That's what's going on. But they will not let me. I've got to be the bench warmer. I've got to be the reverend to the owners. I've got to get screwed worse than anybody for all the players out there who ever had to negotiate with an owner. So I'm reverent to the players out there. See, the players realize how much money my estate contributes to the system. They're smart about it in that aspect. That's another reason that my kidnappers are trying to torture me so bad to alienate. They want money for nothing, Dire Straits. They want me to pay and get nothing for it. That's what the kidnappers are trying to do. That's how the whole reverse occurs. I mean, we are paying billions of dollars while my estate is just getting massacred. And these kidnappers don't want to pay a fucking penny. They don't want to pay anything. They're going to screw me as bad as possible. That's what's going on now. So that's the whole reverse curse sort of thing. They don't want to pay a fucking cent. They freaked out when Atlanta went from one of the Falcons went from one of the best teams in the league to one of the worst. Or their Arthur Blank check. He's nothing but a token Jew. Just like he's laundering the money from Louisiana. They had to put him in there because they had to. They were trying to get at the my New York money. They won't let me get at it, but they know I have money in New York banks. And New York won't let me at it either for some fucked up reason. So yeah, they put him in there, and also as the Lucky Rabbit's foot good luck charm. But he represents individual wealth, which is totally, and he's working with the oxymoron in this whole thing is A.B. Freeman, who was a Coca-Cola bottler from way back when and founded the Tulane Business School. So A.B. and Bush, Arthur Blank, there's A.B. Smith, there's an ABF, there's a lot of A.B.s out there. The Alpha Betas from Revenge of the Nerds, which is really going on. These President hack transfers, they use me a lot. That's why the Omega hack is also so important, because when I get hacked, it doesn't take much, but it's like a spear and a blood flow. I'm like a hemophiliac. Keep bleeding. These wounds, which are assets. It's my blood that they've learned to convert into cash or into power, and they sell the power for cash. So yeah, A.B. Freeman. See, that's where the whole logic basis is skewed. A.B. Freeman should be like the Bears and the Bulls, that sort of thing. The counties and the parishes, like Loyola and Tulane are right next to each other. Even they should be working together. They should. That's what should be my strongest ally. But I got kidnapped and I got brainwashed, and that's why LSU should be supportive, but it's that's more, LSU is a state school, it's kind of a county school, and Louisiana has parishes. So yeah, the Tulane Greenway, A.B. Freeman. So that's where they had to get Arthur Blank in to launder the county, for the parish money into the county system. So that's where he's going to. So then the Falcons get pissed. Well, the players know how much we contribute to the system. I mean, regardless, the only way, we are paying a lot of money. And they realize the world knows this also. It's a global estate. So it's not just me. I am just a bank officer, a team of bank officers. I just happen to be the only one that grabbed at the Excalibur, and I have the power to wield it because of, goes back to Duck Soup. That's the reason it was there. I was supposed to try to be a BLM, Bank Land Management, but I am not allowed to because they like free range. They want to go hunt. They want the big fat asset. It's like having they want some big fat bucks out there to skin and hunt, prove they're a real man. But the problem is these are bank assets that need to be controlled. And the land is being massacred. It's being strip mined and decimated. That's the whole part about that. And then the insurance on the back end. I think the insurance is going to save them. They've got to use, this goes back to the karate that they are so adept at, the Karate Kid. guy. It's the city of Baton Rouge Avenue. They are screwing me and fucking death, no doubt about it. But they're calling it fighting. Raid. X marks the spot. That's the Dixie. Instead of the Confederate. See, I actually represent what would be considered more of the old South, estate planning. I'm not talking about. See, you can tell the difference between a confident mind. My support of estate planning, strategic sectors of the economy, rather than just chaos sprawl, eventually is going to run out of resources. I mean, I'm just trying to address the problem before it gets much worse, because the fix won't be so bad. It's just like piling on the jump, piling on the jump, piling on the jump. I'm trying to fix it. Plus, I do not want this infection, this blight, to be exported. Because I think Latin America needs to be different than the United States. I do not care that my father was a Marine. I do not care that the Marine symbol has the North America, South America symbol on it. That is immaterial. Immaterial. It needs to have. But look who's in charge of the system. I do not trust those that are in charge of the system, because I've been kidnapped for 7 fucking years. While I've lost billions and billions. I paid 100% tax to this system, and I get screwed. Paying to get screwed. And my pimps are getting paid for me to get screwed. Midnight Cowboy, JB John Boyd. You know, it's just the worst case scenario. And the world is at a vital crossroads. It needs to have some correction involved. But the crazy fucking idiots of the USA, these proud individuals, fight me from trying to even correct the problem, because they want to be so fucking special. I do not understand it. It's infuriating to me. It's historically stupid. I mean, literally. And they want me to be their beauty shop. I'm trying to tell them, look, what you're doing is historically stupid. In another generation, it is going to be exponentially worse. Look back 20 years, how different it is to now. It's going to be exponent. They're just now, the resistance, as you would, is just now getting a strong grip upon the legal system. It's going to get exponentially worse a lot faster. But you want to keep on fucking partying. Are you brain dead? Obviously. You did too much dope. You have a lot of fucking brain damage. And this pride, I don't understand it. Because you got a bunch of crap from Walmart, and you got a fucking house just like a million other houses. Oh, but look at me, how pathetic I am, so that makes you super, super valuable. I mean, that's your fucking beauty shop that you need to lose. I mean, you are crazy. Beyond crazy. It's just, I mean, it's one of the worst case scenarios in history. Then, on the other whole end of the spectrum is driving this anarchy revolution, or the sacred idol. They're using my notoriety. This most notably goes back to, these are sirens or like lighthouse tower alarms, but I have to pay with my life. But I have a mission to accomplish. I don't care about these little bullshit hacks about union mission. You got to go be reverent to the poor. Are you fucking crazy? No, you're a fucking bank robbery criminal, is what you are. I mean, that's what's going on. By making me reverent and leaving the door wide open, my estate is losing. We're talking billions and billions. I don't care if you can bribe some fucking politicians. That's what you've done. You've bribed politicians with more power, Tim Allen. That's all you've done. It's smart bribery. That's all it is. But it is criminal. It is just, and you want to get paid on the back end with insurance for the fraud. You want to get double paid. Crazy. So yes, my job to manage this estate is being hindered because I have to pay for the likeness rights that were giving me credibility. So I am not able to accomplish what I was supposed to accomplish. So the anarchy revolution is taking hold. So anarchy revolution is like a swarm. You put a figurehead on there, interchangeable heads. That's all it is. You can pop a head on to make it the best case scenario. You always want to look right. You know what? It's a swarm. It's all like the locust attack, like in the Matrix, all those machine squids. All it is, it's a swarm. But you will not allow me to manage my estate. Make me play this game as reverent because I was mismanaged in the first place, which created this casino atmosphere. I was mismanaged, so it created casinos. So I have to pay for the casinos because of this Jesus saves and forgives. That is the dumbest logic in the history of the world. Literally. Stupid. But I can't do anything because I don't even have enough money to go out to eat. I don't have a vehicle. I have zero friends. I am totally, totally alienated because I don't understand why, but I'm kind of strange. I'm a little. Think what the problem is. I am forced because of they're trying to. It's this just stupid, stupid, stupid logic. I am forced around people who are, and I don't mean to be demeaning or mean, but inferior intellectually. You were talking about people that cannot perceive of my thought process. And then when I speak, they're like looking at me strange. They feel weird, so of course they attack. And because out of my league, because people are jealous, envious that I could be or am out of their league, and so they have to make me out of their league as irreverent, empathetic. Yet the cost is billions and billions and billions of dollars. That's where you get into these sacred poser brothers, the mob playing sides. So yeah, sure. You've got this sacred poser brothers or sisters who are, ooh, they're so special because they're better than me. But they do not have the capability to manage the estate. The only way they can manage the estate is open the door, land rush. Go, it's the Suitor land grab. Go and take what you want because they cannot, they're not big enough and not strong enough. They are frauds. And so if they try to stand up, the mob's going to say, fuck you, you're a fraud. So they do not stand up. So they just let it, they just hold the door open. So these sacred brothers that are worshipped is more valuable than me because of this bullshit rank scam, this B pyramid. They do all they are is they're holding the door open, so it's a land rush. If they tried to stop it, the mob would attack them, and that's why they do not say a fucking thing. I have the ability to control it to a degree, even though it's getting out of control for me. See, they want to make me empathetic to their lack of control. Same thing with the politicians or the party monsters were trying to make me reverent to the politicians by wasting my life because I had the ability, because of my global power, to control the population or control sectors of it to a degree, but they will not allow me because that is a threat because they hate competition that I pay for. And they won't allow me to manage my global estate. Don King, only in America. What the fuck is that all about? Most of my estate is out of the United States, but I am not allowed to leave. Crazy. And those they're trying to, what they're doing is they're just putting machines in place. So you're going to have a very little balance. It goes back to A&M. That's where LSU is off the charts crazy. LSU is more like the Harry Potter technical community college. I mean, it's pathetic. Agriculture and mechanical, yes, great. But the agriculture, you're fighting, it's bipolar. They're fighting themselves and they're keeping them small. Because there is no one there that is actually controlling the entirety of the thing. So yeah, sacred idols that I have to worship. So all these likeness rights are then my wasted life, all the unused value, all the things, and that's what they're doing by sabotaging me. And then it's the spread. That's the spread eagle distribution, and then it's distributed to other sacred plastics and idols that are independent. They're free range. Basically, they're out on their own doing their thing, But the problem is the system is out of control. The world is imploding left and right. I mean, it's horrific in nature. And they've got to teach me lessons or something like that, but they will will not allow me to grow up. Or they are trying desperately, because they want to use all this spread power, the option spread, as you would. The max to the min, sorry, self-loathing. I hate myself for, well, you know, what it is. The depression over the Crown liquors. I pay for the hooch, and I pay for the Hangover, deal of the century, because of the organ theft. So, yeah, so the spread that is in between, they have to convert me, try to turn me into this impish little pet. Although the estate is not being managed, it's just wide open territory, no fences, you know, and it's crazy. So I am not allowed pride at all. They have to beat me and train me and torture me to not have any pride, because slaves are not allowed pride. And because I am blacklisted and boycotted, the amount of money we're dealing with, it's like astronomical. We're dealing with billions and billions and billions of dollars. And I am forced into this communal sharing. They want me to share. That's why they force me into this Les Miles penny beggar bullshit. Because they're miser. You know? They're a miser, even because I'm giving away billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars. But they want me to share. So I have to live in a shared environment. I am not allowed to build walls or fences or anything. I've got to be accessible, be vulnerable to pay off a bunch of nobodies. It sets the precedence. Because I matter the least and I'm worth the most, it's like these precedences that are set up, the program transfer. It's not like a bank transfer where you go in actuality, say, I want to transfer $100 from this account to this account. What they've done is they put me to where, let's use SunTrust, because SunTrust is if you think the sun is a ball of flame, gas, fuel, energy. So, I have right now $200 in SunTrust Bank. SunTrust Bank is worth how much money? Billions of dollars. All these other people that are around me have thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank. I am very, very, very poor comparatively to all. If you ranked all the accounts from top to bottom, this is where you get into the whole rank scam bank robbery. This is how it works. So I'm one of the low, probably one of the low, not the 1%, the top 1% of wealth. I'm probably the low 1% of wealth. Literally, I made $4,000 to $10,000 a year, except for kids, which I am kidding, because I'm held back, not allowed to grow up, because I have to be screwed to death by my parents. So yeah, the precedence of percentage. That's where you get it. That's part of the matrix grid body. There's also credit report, which my credit is terrible because I made $4,000 to $10,000. I got fired from a ton of jobs. I got evicted from a ton of apartments. I have outstanding tickets. So my grid ranking is really, really low. I was purposefully stalked and sabotaged. This is a kidnapper, ransom of Red Chief O. Henry scam, Red Stick. This is how they're getting around. This is how it works. This is how the scam works. Okay, so the precedence is the percentage of the entirety of the bank. Then you take my actual bodily global worth. I am the probably worth the most. And this goes Coca-Cola secret formula is also held at SunTrust. Worst investment I ever made was ever drinking Coke. The stupid fuck joke is Coke 0400. They're playing a game to screw me, based upon the New Orleans Jazz moving to Utah. They want to these fucking retards do not have a clue. I wouldn't trust them to drive a fucking go-kart. And they are driving billions and billions and billions of dollars in global assets for it's just some of the dumbest logic in the history of the world. Because they're jealous of Formula One. Or You know, so now that's what I was saying before. You've got the independent wealth is worship looking down because it's called envy. They're worshiping those below them because they want to be higher ranked, while they're trying to kill those above them. Formula One, which would be my contemporaries. But I'm forced down into the worst league possible in order to distribute money. So it goes back to this precedence of the bank. So because I'm worth, let's say, 100, and this is a speculative lowball figure, $100 billion globally. But in the matrix Sun Trust, I am a 0.000000001% of the total wealth of the Sun Trust. So that program, the matrix, is more powerful because of the utilization of electronics and the worship of machines and the worship of law and the worship of banks and the worship of technology. So the power of the precedence programs a transfer of value from the actual bodily values into, and then it is divided based upon the percentages of this bank. That is why I am force dependent. That is a prime example of many, many scams that are going on. That is a criminal embezzlement, misappropriation scam. But it is difficult. What it does is it's magic power. So the people that are in these grids are then magically powered by my body. They get the magic power values of my body that I am unable to use. And so then they start converting that power into cash assets. It is a program. It's one of those embedded programs that's difficult to interpret because but that's how the matrix works. So you take the actual body and they plug me in at the bottom of these electric matrix scans, and then there's a transfer of value, and then there's a conversion process, the catalytic converter platinum process of producing cash value as compensation for the bodily value based upon these ranks. That's how it works. And then they must beat me into the ground because it's a perpetual flow. If you cut out, it's like magic. If you turn off the energy, they're real worried about what will actually happen. So I'm not allowed any pride at all. They've got to convert me into a small domestic pet. So at any time I am in, they're using the law as the weapon to bury the big kidnapper's body. My entire life, obviously, was this man was kidnapped. They started out good, but we got kidnapped. We got hijacked, and we got sabotaged. And they were bribing everyone. There were a lot of bribes to politicians. There were a lot of my sister was a bribe to the Bushes, the SMU Kappa Theta. That's my sister was a bribe to bury the bodies. Then there was the energy bribe to the oil companies by burying us. And then there were there were a lot of ways around this bribe. Military contracts, there were bribes to all sorts so we basically pay all sorts of ways. And these are all processors of the conversion process. This is how this matrix converts the energy into cash because of these massive bribes. That's why my family is split apart, fracked, as you would. We're put into, we're separated into our little zoo cage. And each of us are a refinery or a chemical plant. We're slaves. We get nothing out of it because they gambled on slavery. Rather than cutting us into the deal, because it goes back to Don King on America. So, sacred replacement of beauty, that's where it gets into, I've got to be totally desecrated. That's also why they want to turn me into this creepy fucking, I've got to be empathetic. Like I said, there are degrees of guilty, but they pinch pennies to the nth degree. They want to, everybody matters than me. It's based upon this Omega tattoo hat that they worship like God Almighty. It's like if an armed robbery comes in and holds a gun to your head, they're worshiping the gun because they're my killed him. So that it's an armed robbery, really, or it's a financial fraud crime, or it's like it's a virus that they're worshiping. But so far, the law doesn't do anything about it because it's difficult. There's no fingerprints. It's next to impossible to, and unless you allow me to grow up, that's the only way that the proof of validity can happen. That's another reason they fight me to keep me a baby, a bottle-fed Formula One baby, so much. So yeah, I've got to be creepy, and it goes also back to the whole. See, when it's the man, men, lords, commons, 1x equals a million, but they Trojan horse into the 1x. So they got to make me creepy to beauty shop because I matter least. Because they're proud. They're blood doping proud. And I matter least. So they got to make me creepy. Another reason they wasted the prime of my life when it's the vanity level of vanity is growing. They wanted to make the victims reject me. That way it makes them more beautiful. That's the beauty shop. They want me to be rejected to make them more beautiful. So therefore, it's another reason for the epic, Homer epic, wasting life. And so therefore, in a vain society, with a vain material girl society where I am poor and creepy, because I'm kidnapped and tortured to be poor and creepy, because I am not allowed to grow up, and I'm not allowed to use my body, and I'm not allowed to use my state assets, because they have to make me empathetic to those that are worshiping Cassius King material things. I've got to be omega super empathetic to the degree. This empathy is criminal. But then they're trying to justify it as they're teaching lessons and tuition scholarship funds at my behest, which they will not. I would be very happy to have scholarships. I've been trying to be able to give scholarships out to Tulane, Loyola, and LSU and other schools, but I am not allowed to because that is an advantage. This is all about handicapping. For some reason, they are desperate. And that's another reason I am poisoned as low as possible. It's this, they have to handicap me, and I matter less than anything I touch. That's the infectious disease. I am allergic to everything because of this illegal hack. This spear in my back that is infectious disease, the sacred wounds that I am not allowed to heal because I'm not allowed to grow up. If I heal, I would grow up, and there are sacred parasites, there are sacred wounds. So I matter less, and they're trying to put me around the most pathetic thing possible, because then I have to. It's just how low can you go? Skateboarding, or wakeboarding, or thrashing, or whatever you want to call it. So the poison that is, and that's more spread to distribute to the grid that will then be converted into cash. So I have to be pathetic and creepy, so I have been tortured for so many years, alone, by myself, to be creepy, pathetic, mean, repulsive. Oh, that's the representative beauty shop there for the sacred machines, sacred plastic replacements, Trojan magnum extends, while I'm castrated, alone. They gotta hide the truth. I'm not even allowed to be around because, well, they noticed when I was shy and not very, there were people around me that were more ebullient, effervescent than me. When I was just a bump on a log, I was able to have friends. But as my personality, I woke up and I started studying, and my personality grew. They had to alienate me because I was out of my league. I was out of my league. So then it's all by myself because they worship this goddamn handicapped rank scam to death. They're literally, their god is this V rank scam. Literally. St. Vincent's Whorehouse, Victoria's Secret, Motel. They're really Crown Liquors. I pay both ends of that. I pay for the hooch and I pay for the hangover because of these illegal rank scams that they hold a gun to my head. And they will not allow me to grow up. They gambled on it. They bet my life. Groucho Marx revenge. You know, it's not. It was a warning sign because of the parents. There was the necessity of math. Accounting is necessity, but they figured out a loophole in accounting by the world. I mean, I guess they did not think that the world would be such fucking coward pussies. The world really did turn into a bunch of coward pussies. I think it goes back to the Sugar Bowl and the gummy bears and the Sigma Delta Chi brainwashing. They used me to basically turn the world into a bunch of coward pussies who are just going to bend over and say, fuck me with your Trojan Magnum extends plastic cocks and teach me to love the Longhorns. So yeah, the world turns into a bunch of coward pussies and pays for the USA Sacred Gods and Idols Party and allow this scam. So the You Bet Your Life was, freedom has become free love. Neiman Marcus looters are free. You know, they want their free liquor, they want their VIP liquor, they want their free strippers, they want their free everything. Free anything and everything. This is way beyond freedom. This is max freedom at my cost. That's what they're trying. That's why they're so patriotic for the party. So damn wild. You look at Project X. It's free drugs. It's free women. It's free liquor. It's free houses. It's free sweets. It's free luxury goods. You get to take home their own Louis Vuitton swag bag with their Cartier watch and their bottles of Dom and their bottles of Cristal that they pay for with the Monopoly cash converter at the SunTrust Bank. So yeah, they've got to make me empathetic. And the brainwashing torture making me creepy. No pride at all. See, me using, this is Swedish, I will pay so much for this because I am not allowed pride. I have to be a loyal slave. That's why they're trying to they're beating me and torturing me and beating me. I have to pay and pay and pay because I am their loyal slave. They are the kidnapper masters because they have gun to my head. They will not let me grow up. They will not let me use my wallet, my billions and billions and billions of dollar wallet to protect their sacred disease, their sacred spear wounds, their sacred pickpocket wells, their sacred parasites, their sacred everything that I pay for. So zero pride. So you go back to, well, this goes back to the men's health. Killing Prince Charming. They hate Disney World. Hate the Magic Kingdom. Hate it. And that's one of the reasons they had to turn all the Mouseketeers into these crazy, that's one of the reasons it goes back to this breakfast club here in Tybee Island, is they've got to turn the Mouseketeers, all for one, one for all. They've got a covalent bond, so it's 414. The South by Southwest 6x69 414, which is also Milwaukee, the Millers, the Brew Crew, the Sacred Factory, that that's their creationist gods. And it's creating 414 is also the address of Kansas City, City Hall. The KC is a real vital important. It goes into Keithville, which is a Ohio base. Ottoman Empire, that's my estate in Pillage, the St. Louis Nine. It's basically the equivalent of the Ottoman Empire. The Treaty of Paris divided up all the lands. So that's what they're doing. It's the Sooner land grab sneaker attack. Stole my glass of champagne. No, they didn't just steal the glass. They stole the whole region. They stole Bordeaux. They stole the best wines in the world, and they gave me backwashed poison trash that I got to choke on. Everything I eat is poison. The joke about, see, they hate me so bad because I am the victim. And there is that underlying truth, that math, that they hate, that they owe money, that they do not want to owe money. So they have to, they will not even allow, it's just, every aspect of my life has to be just pathetic and worthless and weak, paying for the slave pride. So yeah, it goes back to the girl I was dating kind of, not really dated. We were friends with the last girl that was actually my friend back in 2004. Girls have ignored me my entire life, but I have to forgive them and I have to be their beauty shot. So they're never wrong. So my life is ruined. I must die for these sacred girls, Catwoman, because they decided to ignore me. They just don't want to be, they don't even want to be friends. And it's their pimps brainwashed them. They got screwed by their pimps so bad. They got gassed and dosed by their pimp men for so long that they just lost their minds. Yeah, so, but yeah, it goes back to this whole Lolita, Ben and Jerry, when I worked at Ben and Jerry's. That's how I pay for it, because I have to be, they have to brainwash me. They're trying, by me being forced alone and by myself, and it really fucks with your brain, really bad. I mean, you can't even imagine. I have exercises to try to keep myself somewhat sane. They will not allow me the method to. I could correct a lot of it, but they want to Maxwell Hammer, amateur brain surgery. They want to inflict permanent marks, brain damage on me because they hate me so bad because I did not kill myself. If I would have killed myself, and they would have kept my family as hostages, and there would have been the sacred death. That's how they were gonna. The ghost was gonna be. If I killed myself, they were gonna use me as sacred death ghost, because I never did pay off my college degree. So the ghost of the college degree was gonna, and they were gonna use my sister, who is obviously not very smart, and all my other cousins and brothers and sisters who were brainwashed in a coma. So they had to make me creepy and empathetic by me being forced. They wanted to try. Wow! And they realized this. They were using technology against me because I am unable to evolve. I must stay small. I must be old. They hate the old world because they're trying to eat all the old world. And that's where my partners are: Italy, France, Spain, and all these old world countries in the bank. Their partners in the bank. The parish bank. They hate the parish thing also. That's why the county rules. YMCA try how I stole my frosting, that sort of mentality. Sugar Bowl gone! So, yeah, they've got to brainwash me creepy, and beg and creepy. I got to beg to be their friend. Not only talk guys and girls. I got to chase down and beg guys to be my friend. Goes back to they hate fucking golf. You know, it's a one man, one sport. I got to play by myself. And so they use that, I'm forced public as the private club revenge on all the golf courses that I pay for. Because these worthless fucking country club bullshit Greek system fucks sacred fucking livestock that won't lift a goddamn finger, that leave me out as a bribe, that are making their pets these super huge mutants that are going to kill them. Fucking stupid idiots. So, yeah. I'm locked out, tortured to be. I'm public and reverent. So they've got to torture me and brainwash me. So that's me paying the pimp. There's a lot of ways to pay. They figured out a lot of ways to pay. Just like there's smart bribery. They bribe politicians with global power by burying me and not allowing me to wield the Excalibur power. They also bribe women. There's lots of ways to use bribery. There's very creator ways of bribery these days. So they got to turn me into this. Not only am I missing the growing, I am supposed to be managing these assets. They do not want me to. They want free range so they can walk in, flower power, and pick as much as they want, or they can hunt the. That's where the wealthy are crazy. They're out and about. They can be easily hunted. The system is building a net or an aviary around them, a dome, so they can then, once the system's in place, then they're just going to go in and hunt them or keep them as validity. It's like they're collateral. So they got these sacred assets that should be under my control that I could be using to build global trade empire as a balance to the super monstrosity corporations that are uncontrollable, or the government that's out of control. That's where the old South is a fucking joke. I represent states' rights. I represented state planning, and they are addicted like fucking crackheads to this Kokobush Gods Country Club. You know, I mean, just stupid states' rights. Yeah, they worship a strong central big brother authoritative government is what they're building right now. I mean, the South proved how they just wanted their trophy. They refused to build a bridge because I was kidnapped. When I went to public schools, I was specifically poisoned. And when I was poisoned, the permanent marks were, it was all about sharing. And they win. I mean, the public schools that poisoned me, the permanent marks that were poisoned from public schools are still sacred fucking wealth. That's why I'm here, because of public high school. Literally, that's why I am still kidnapped in Tybee Island, because I am still, and that's why, literally, that's why they've got people that are implanted into my family, that we are, you talk about some of the creepiest fucking stalkers in the history of the world, but I have to be creepier to these creepy fucking poser replacements that are implanting and infiltrating to distribute assets. So yeah, these permanent marks, that's why you gotta, once again, self-loathing, hate my name, hate myself. So yeah, they gotta turn me into this, so I'm paying the pimps by mental torture, by being creepy for the replacements that I am producing, because I am unable to control and manage my estate. So I'm still paying, so they want to scare me. They want to scare me to beg some little poor nobody. See, if they breed me small and weak, and they want to try to make my genes inferior. They're trying to breed my family. They want us to be less and less and less inferior. Where that's the Pennington IP Freely Pennington joke, because we are not allowed to grow up financially, and we should be able to do back. We're just out in there. It's the Lotto Powerball. Duck Dynasty. Anybody that gets lucky enough, they don't care who the fuck it is. The better, the poorer, the more pathetic, the worse genes, the better. Because then the plastic posers who we got a beauty shop are then even more prettier and more valuable. Because the worse, that's more of that spread logic mentality. Let's see if I'm missing anything. The organ theft hangover, good, the bad, and the ugly. So yeah, I mean, I pay on every aspect. So yeah, I've got to be, this goes back to the Ben and Jerry's, because I am not allowed to grow anything. They want to waste my entire fucking life. Zero to show Brewster's Millions Revenge, Paris, Texas, PSG. Oh, then I've got to be the stripper pole, Mike the Magic Tiger for the. See, right now, you've got this group of celebrities that are going to be historically relevant, because I devoted my life to making them more special because of likeness rights. So now you've got all these sacred weddings that I am actually the stripper pole for. That's what's showing. Paris is a bunch of fucking JV amateur world pussies. So yeah, the Eiffel Tower is really the Magic Mike stripper pole because of Jules Verne restaurant, and it goes into feeding the public schools better than the Jules Verne best. That's why the public schools are now eating Europe. Yeah, they're eating Italy, they're eating Spain because of these permanent marks from the public schools, because I am kidnapped because of these fucking stupid, fucking Old South, these stupid fucking Ivy League, sacred idol fucking pimps, these stupid, fucking worthless goddamn Greeks who I've got to serve to make them super fucking special. See, Tybee realizes how fucking stupid they were. They set me up at this Ocean Plaza. They wanted to show how stupid the fucking Greeks really are. And they are really this fucking stupid. So to make them so much more, I'm the Omega brother. I matter less than all of them. Even though the system itself is killing them.
This is so much worse than alcohol. This is like a crack habit. I mean, look back 20 years, look forward 20 years. All they want is the presents. You know, they want a party and they want the presents. So yeah, so they have to make me as creepy as possible to make those that are really the representative poser plastic creepy. Just stupid logic. And I get the hangover, and I got to serve, and all this fucking crazy, all for their sacred Jesus. I mean, this is the worst scam. Oh yeah, the bouts of survival. They use everything. All these signs are nothing but daredevil rants because of the Thrashers. Bo Turner was trying to point out the fact that if you have it's this purple haze torture lynching, and the Thrashers moved to Winnipeg. So if they tortured me, they could lose a lot of their wealth. They don't care. They are brave, crazy. So they take every sign out there. Breakfast Club, once again, because I was a partier back in high school. Praise Almighty Jesus, Spuds McKenzie, the party monster, never ends. Party animal, pays for everything. So bouts of survival. So I've got to beg for change while I am losing billions and billions of dollars. I got to beg people to be my friends because I'm strange, because I'm out of their league, which I pay for by being tortured and desecrated. And I don't mean that in a mean aspect. I mean, my perspective is I'm looking at things. Not most people do not look at things from even a state level. And I'm forced around I'm forced in the lower levels of the hood mentality. And these people just look at me like you're fucking crazy. So obviously they attack me like a pit bull. Because hey, that's value there. What they see is that's the whole pit bull mentality. So they leave me exposed. So they're trying to fix me. This is their amateur wizard brain surgery for the J.C. Lewis Public Health, trying to fix me by gagging me to try to not escape, to try to acclimate to being a low level pauper. Rather than let me grow up, which would fix the problem to prove because I'm not wrong, I have to be wrong. I am always fucking wrong because I pay for everything. And then John Cryer, 2.5 men. There are millions of half men. There's a third man for it. It's decimal point percentages. 0.0000001, 0.0000002, 0.00003, 0.004, 0.00567. You know, that's the 2.5 men. That's the worthless fucking pyramid scam. But because I am the omega of the number, I am always last. Even though I pay the most. Tell me that is not the dumbest fucking logic in the history of the world. That's what they worship. That's their God Almighty, is this logic based upon this. They do not allow me to correct it. It's like worshiping Bernie Madoff to the death. Worshiping the Manson family to the death. Worshiping Enron. Never wrong, Enron. We don't give a fuck about the, to the death. Based upon this creator. That's why the 414 is so vital. The Miller. It's Miller Pride Revenge. My father used to drink a lot of Miller beer. We were horrific. That's why I say LSU will probably be remembered as one of the worst schools in history. It's because they hate Tulane. LSU knew my family was better suited as Tulane and Loyola, but they didn't care. They wanted to fuck us. And so instead, they just locked us out and laughed at us getting fucked by all their sacred fucking pets. That's why LSU will be looked at one. And then they're gonna say, well, look at all these chemical plants. We were just revenge for that. Bullshit. You could have eaten the fucking chemical plants. They could have used me to eat those. They could own those fucking chemical plants. Some of them, at least, to certain degrees of percentage, if they had let us grow up. But they wanted the revenge. They wanted the lynch mob, purple haze, and so they're a beat of beer. Instead of Budweiser, they're a Beta, Purple Haze. And they're trying to get Georgia to do the same thing. SEC Solidarity, Brother Pride. And Georgia followed suit. Didn't lift a fucking finger. Made me fight to beg to eat some poison crumbs. When I got $1 billion in the bank that they won't let me get at because we're shared brothers. Everybody's an almond brother or something like that. Peanuts. Well, yeah, Lucy pulling the ball away so I go splat and hit my head every fucking time. They're going to train the world to obey, like Spuds McKenzie, party animal, to be their obedient fucking dogs. That's what's going on now. That's why the rise of the Terminator machine. So you had the choice, rise of the kings. And I admit, I was a fucking idiot fuck up. But I tried to fix the problem. That's where you get into the permanent marks. I'm not allowed to fix the problem because they hate me so fucking much. And because they are not, because so many of the mob do not have the ability to pay for what they're spending. They are way, way overspending. So I have a lot, that's why the fraud is so dangerous. I can afford to fix the problem. But I am not allowed to because I am kidnapped and my wallet has been stolen. So, rather than rise of the kings, and I'm not talking about, it's always the worst case scenario. In the modern age, there is going to be certain parameters. They do not want any competition. They love the Terminators. They want rise of the machines. That's why it's anarchy. That's why the wealthy are so fucking crazy. The wealthy are worshiping an anarchy revolution because they love their high-rise penthouse parties. It's crazy. You look at the logic. But it looks good for now. Give it 20 years, but see, they're wasting my life. I have to fight because my life has been wasted so far, and I am very confident that what I am saying on these tapes in 20 years will be validated. I don't know who, there might be a planet of the apes, which is basically the machines, the swarms. It's this game group. It's it's this poker face, game group. The machines worship these games. It's this logic-based code. So yeah, I think in 20 years, unless there's a correction, the game machine, it's going to be like the Terminator. And then once they get control, then they're going to start attacking. As soon as they hit 51%, as soon as they get control, attack, like Independence Day. They're just waiting and building. As soon as they get control, it's attack. The wealthy think by producing more wealth, they're going to counterbalance this rather than fixing the problem because they like being outdoors so fucking much. They like being at their pools and they like being on their beaches and all this stuff. I mean, they're crazy. Just build a fucking castle. Cut off the anarchy fucking fuel supply lines. Terrifying. Or something. So yeah, they got to train the world. This is Spuds McKenzie revenge. This is probably why they got the Greeks. Delta, Omicron, Gamma. Delta, Gamma. From Oxford, Mississippi. They bit. Just like the St. Louis Rams moving from Los Angeles, the Hollywood bit. Instead, they weren't smart enough. They were vicious, attacking, wrath. That's why there was Pope Wrath. It was all about revenge. I'm telling you, that's why. And that's why it was the first case in 500 years. This is the logic is so bad. So yeah, the St. Louis Key, they refused to build a castle. So yeah, you've got the revenge. So they're going to teach the world to worship Spuds McKenzie party animals, which is really rise of the machines, Terminator to control. Rather than it's Hamburger Planet. That's all it is. Hamburger Planet. And the USA currently has the best Hamburger Planet agenda in place. They have the best cowboy brands for the Hamburger Planet. But the problem is, it will turn the world into a trashy. Plastics everywhere, nothing but chaos, sprawl. It's bad logic. Eventually, the correction has to happen, and I'm trying to fix the problem before it gets so much worse because I'm trying to manage the land. I'm not allowed to. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Yep, organ theft hangover. I don't get the party. I sit here and waste my life, but I get the hangover because Crown Liquor. And that's the spread once again because of the depression of how much I lost. I lost so much that is so depressing. Really is. I mean, I could be I could be dating some of the most beautiful women in the world. Instead, I've been celibate for 50. I'm paying for everything. I'm paying for anything and everything. I'm paying to eat poison trash. Literally. And the poison trash matters more than me because of the machine grid almighty red stick anarchy revolution. Cobra Kai! Yep. Train the world to obey like Spud McKinney. Alright, I might have gone fired up on that. I apologize for my language. I am just getting worked up. I'm infuriated. I need practice. Like I said, I could fix myself. I'm not allowed to. I need to have some control. I need to be able to. I am constantly infuriated. That's the mad brainwash. My sister is crazy. You do realize my sister has lost her mind. My sister and my mother are two of the craziest, dumbest people in the history of the world. But the mob here in Savannah has chosen to worship them for some odd reason. Because I guess they like it. It's the Michael Vick joke. With Louis Mark's toys, Rock'em Sock'em Robots, Real Steel, Hugh Jackman. I get it's this, but it's just crazy. And so I am not allowed to fix myself. I am tortured until the brain damage is permanent from my hangover for Crown Liquors that I pay for. So they're inflicting the brain damage from the slave brain hangover that I'm not allowed to partake in. I serve, I pay for, and I get the hangover. That is the deal of the century for Crown Liquors. But I am not allowed to fix myself. I am not allowed to, when I get mad, I had 0 friends. I had nobody has ever called me. No girls have ever wanted to be, throughout my life. I have no long-term friends. My friends have all been, I pay for all my friends by their followers who figure out ways to pick my pocket by playing my friends' sides against me to attack me and pick my pocket. Yeah, girls do not want to be my friends. I have to beg and chase guys to be my friends. I have to bother them and call them. Yeah, in Aspen, I had 0 friends. I knew a lot of people. I have acquaintances. It was the best of a terrible, terrible Omega life. And I like the climate, and I like the scenery. I got humiliated and massacred there, but it's the best of a terrible, terrible life. My life has been so pathetic, so desecrated. I was beaten so bad my entire life. It is the best of a pathetic, pathetic life that I paid graciously for. Oh, it goes back to because I managed a bunch of high school kids. They're going to torture me and torture me and torture me to be this creepy fucking pervert. It's permanent brain damage when the replacement poser plastics look a lot prettier and better. They just want to prove it. Anyone can do my job better than me as a replacement. And but then because they are replacements, because I am paying for them, it's like going to the cat house and I pay for their tricks. So I got a beauty shop then for being forced for me to pay for their tricks at the cat house. Crazy. Madonna spread eagle getting gangbang fucked and loving it. Cheerleading to get gangbang fucked while Italy is massacred. Lady Gaga gagging me because they like getting gangbang fucked so fucking much. In Italy and Spain and France are paying. In Latin America, crazy stupid. I mean, just crazy stupid. These USA Catholic proud cats do not lift a finger because I gotta pay. They think that's Christianity. Me paying for cat house tricks is Christianity. It's crazy. Just unbelievable. So yeah, I am not allowed to fix myself. I figure if I had enough, like even $250,000, which sounds like a lot to some, little in the grand scheme of things, I could afford to pay my bills and either buy or rent a place somewhere in the woods, a cabin, or a house, or something, and hire some staff. I could afford my family. Right now, I get the CBS, Columbia Bum Show. I can't afford my family because they know. They don't want me to sleep on their couch because that's the whole, they do, and they don't want to have to turn me away because then they look bad. So the beauty shop is ignoring me. That is smart kidnapping while they are being bred small to be hostage. I mean, the mob is really smart at this. So, and but the law is used against me as the weapon to pick my pocket. I mean, it's anarchy at its best, as you would. So, I could fix myself. I probably would need some Adderall, maybe some, and I would need. The problem is, I am bored. I do nothing except try to escape. My entire life is trying to escape. It's this game, Escape from Alcatraz. Play Misty for me. Basically, that is my game. Rolling cigars in the Cuban Shark Tank factory. Good cigars. Great cotton planty skirt at Victoria's Secret. And that are out of my league, but I pay for it. Out of my league. That's what the whole thing is. Everything's out of my league, but I can pay, but I can't use. Because they're so damn proud. So yeah, I can fix myself, but they want to inflict permanent damage on me because they want to put their permanent marks, prove they were there. They are brave. Just fucking Maxwell hammer to the head. That's fucking crazy. So yeah, if I could, actually, my life would still look. It's funny because when I actually get driven, it's like a dog. I get to go for a trip in the car. Yay, I'm all excited. Just to go across town to do nothing, to go to Walmart. Ooh, I'm all excited. A dog getting to go for a car ride. Woohoo, praise Almighty God, Spuds McKenzie. The world's gonna fucking pay. That's how fucking crazy these kidnappers are. That's what they're teaching me. And so if I actually had a full day's agenda, meetings, a meeting, what the fuck's a meeting? I haven't, there's nothing, I can't afford meetings because they're out of my league. I gotta get used to being around the poison trash that are trying to kill. The poison trash pride is now trying to initiate me into their club. I'm getting initiated into the lowest omega level because Almighty fucking God, the tattooing matrix that I pay for. So I'm just getting buried deeper and deeper and deeper into this. I mean, we're talking about the worst criminal conspiracy in the history of the fucking world for this bullshit Jesus shit. That I believe in Christianity to a degree, but we're talking about 100%, every sacred penny. And I should be the one person that should be able to play sides, but I am not. Because I have the bank to be able to afford to play sides. But instead, I give my bank away so a bunch of poser nobodies can play sides, and they cannot pay, so I am not allowed to try and collect. They are poser frauds, and I must save them. So, either from healthcare or health plans or from insurance or from Jesus or whatever. I've got to try to save them because I am a slave to a doctor. I'm a slave to the church. I'm a slave on so many levels and they are poser frauds spending money they cannot afford, and so I cannot collect, and so I got to get buried deeper and deeper and deeper. They're just burying the debt deeper and deeper and deeper. Worst scam in the history of the world.